Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 14.
All right.
Let's get to it. So first, we start off with Kimmy and Kiowa at their dinner. And Kiowa doesn't see her role in the whole side chick situation. And Kimmy is trying to help her see how her starting off saying what she was saying about how Kimmy and Maurice got together made other people, pretty much gave them something to run with. So Kiowa doesn't feel like she has a role in that. She said she never called Kimmy the side chick. And that's pretty much where they end. They kind of have to agree to leave it as it is and just move forward, which they were doing before. So I don't see why they had to go and rehash this. But
yeah, I don't believe Kiowa. I don't believe Kiowa.
What?
Even though she said she didn't start it, she could have corrected it. So even though she can use the excuse of I don't do interviews, I don't do I don't be on social media. Well, you're on the show. You could have corrected it while you're on the show. While you have a scene.
Yeah.
That's why Kimmy is like, I don't think that's honorable, and I don't really want to associate or really like become friends with somebody who will allow my name to be dragged in the mud, especially when they know the truth based off of Kimmy's opinion and Kimmy's experience. She's like, Kiowa knows the truth, and a friend, which Maurice want us to be, if you see your friend drowning, you would help them.
Yeah. So
even if, let's say, Kiowa didn't start it, it evolved them, and she let Kimmy drown off of how Kimmy feels. So she's like, why would I be friends with somebody like that? Especially since it's supposed to benefit Monster. She's like, well, I'm not. That's why I could see why Kimmy was like, I don't really want us to be friends like that. Like we should get co-parent and not beef or anything like that. But the closeness you want us to be, Maurice, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I could see it from Kimmy's perspective.
Yeah. Cool. So then we move on to Stormy and Mel. So they're finally having a sit down and trying to just kind of hash out some of the issues that they've been having, or more so Stormy is feeling that Mel is acting away. Mel is doing, I guess, what she's always done, which is detach from everyone when the season wraps up. So they sit down, and Stormy, initially her first thing that she says to Mel is, I feel like you would rather avoid hard conversations.
That's what Stormy said to Mel.
Yeah. I don't agree with that. I feel like Mel has had multiple hard conversations with people throughout the seasons. I just feel like recently she's been choosing not to engage in back and forth with people for the sake of her peace. So I don't think she's trying to avoid hard conversations. I think she's just not going to sit up and argue and go back and forth with people when she knows it's not going to make a difference.
I would disagree. I think the hard conversation she have is probably with her husband or ex-husband at that. But she could have told Stormy why they're not as close, or she could have relayed that message besides just being proactive and just changing her number or not giving her new number or not having to sit down with her. I think Mel does have hard conversations when it comes to, like I said, Martell, and maybe that spills over in how she deal with her friendships, at least the cast of this show. But based off of the previous seasons, I don't see any tough conversations or any reason for her not to talk to Stormy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like go back in my head. Maybe Destiny, and even that was weird. Where Destiny didn't even do anything. So like Mel is just one of those people that just, she measures twice and cut once. So she's gonna cut somebody off before she even gives an explanation.
Yeah. And so Mel is also trying to get down to the bottom with Stormy, because at the tea party, where they were trying to have like a peace party, Stormy's mom came out and said all the things that she disliked about Mel and not having a good feeling about Mel initially. So Mel wanted to know if Stormy's, if she knew that's how her mom felt about her. And Stormy, she pretty much goes on to say, well, pretty much my mom don't like anybody. She didn't like my husband. She don't like her sister. Like, her mom don't like nobody, and really just wants it to be her and Stormy against the world. So I heard where Stormy's was coming from. I feel like Mel, her concern in bringing that up was because of the situation with Letitia and her mom, and not wanting the mother's negativity to get into their daughter. And now they have like a relationship where the daughter, Letitia, is side-eyeing Mel and not having a genuine friendship because of the influence of your mother.
Yeah.
But I think this is a totally different situation. Like with Stormy being able to say that and able to still move forward and have friendships and relationships. I mean, she's still married. She still wants to be close with her aunt. So it doesn't seem like she's influenced by her mom to make decisions over her life.
It depends. In that situation, I feel like Stormy, don't use the excuse of I can't control what my mother say. You can control where your mother be. If it's Mel's tea party and you know how she feel about Mel, why will you bring her to Mel's tea party? For her to embarrass the host.
True.
Like, Mel's there, she's trying to throw something nice for the women and things like that, even in her way. And at her party that she put together, she's getting told, I don't like you. So, like, in a way, I can see why Mel would be like, I don't really want to owe you a conversation or anything, because I'm throwing a party based off of, it was Kiki. It was Kiki and Tiffany, I think it was.
Yeah, and that was pretty much
that needed to mend their bridge.
Right.
So she's trying to fix that issue where she's getting blindsided by somebody else, your mother, talking about how she don't like me. And how I supposed to believe that the daughter didn't know that? Why would you bring your mother to me, and while I'm the host, I'm getting told about my business and things like that? Which some things may be true. I don't think what the mother felt about Mel is all the way false. I think Mel does have some character flaws, but you don't have to choose this moment to tell me about it. And things of that nature. She used that time doing Mel's thing to basically blindside Mel. So she's like, look, I'm just going to tell you straight up, Stormy. I'm not going to be caught in that situation no more. So if you want to get in contact with me, DM me, or call somebody that know me, and then I'll reach out to you.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to be in that situation anymore to where people mothers is talking about me. And now it's a whole spill. It's like, nah, I'd rather just remove myself. So I do see Mel point from that situation.
Yeah. All right. So then we move on to Tisha, Marceau, Kemi, Maurice, and Martell. And we start off with them going to the event space for the Blaque Expo, or Expo, as Tisha says. And so Tisha comes out and explains how Mel won't be involved, and she gives a couple of reasons. The first is basically the status of their friendships, which is they just started back talking to each other maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And also, she didn't want to be involved in anything with Martell, especially with them going through their court situation.
Now, just to be fair, she didn't tell, when Tisha was giving that explanation, she didn't mention Martell's name. Martell was the one that said, it's me.
Yeah.
So like, and then Tisha was trying to protect it, like, no, it's not. It's like she ain't tell me anything. So that's when Martell was like, no, it's me. So.
I mean, Martell, yeah, it is probably partially you, because you over here trying to take my kids away from me. Like, I'm not trying to sit up here and collaborate with you. I
ain't like what Tisha did there.
What?
Like, giving an explanation of why Mel is not there. Like, putting the spotlight
on her
absence. I'm always on, like, it does. I'm going to be here and lift up the people that is here.
Yeah.
More than, hey, y'all, Mel can be here. It doesn't matter if Mel can be here. Because, first of all, it's not all of y'all event. It's not all of you all event. It is Marceau and Tisha's event. So if Mel told Tisha, I won't be able to be there, Tisha doesn't owe the people that she hired an explanation of why Mel is not there.
Yeah.
Because in a way, that kind of makes Mel look like the bad guy in a way.
Which she shouldn't be looked at as a bad guy in this particular instance, because they said just contribute as much as you want to, and she said I don't want to at all.
But,
so that's it.
But you know, that's a people don't mean what they say.
Yeah,
because
they expected everybody to rally
exactly
around.
So the fact that she said all of that, and then I still got to explain why I don't want to do it. It's like, okay, I thought you said it's rather I'm in and out, and I'm telling you I'm out, and then it's still a problem.
And even when Tisha, when they were at their little dinner brunch situation, and she was saying, well, you got to FaceTime everybody if we're around and explain why you're not there.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
You're doing the most. You're doing the most right now. So then Stormy and Courtney come, and someone, I think Martell makes a comment like, oh yeah, y'all involved because Mel can't be here. And I was glad Stormy ignored the comment, because she's like, look, we're doing it for charity. Not charity. We're doing it for the community, and we want to have a positive impact. And I feel like Stormy had a good attitude about the situation, and not taking it as like, oh, we were an afterthought. So
I don't know why she didn't ask Stormy from the beginning, to be honest.
I mean, Stormy has her own business, the Canvas Beauty.
I don't know why she didn't ask Stormy.
It's based in Alabama. Like,
I'm like,
she's a huge person to have.
Forget huge. Like these are you need people.
Right.
So like,
these are the people in your circle. Mm-hmm.
These people on the show.
Right.
Like you Stormy. like forget your circle. Mm-hmm. Stormy shouldn't have been an afterthought. Mm-hmm. Just the minute Mel said that she couldn't do it, Tisha and them should have been like, well, I'm sorry. Thank you for your help. And then the next thing should have been her knocking on Stormy's door. Yeah. Talking about, hey, I got this thing that I want to do this, and I want to help out with this. And I think the group just need to give up the comeback initiative name or whatever it is, and just be individuals. Right. Of course, during that whole scene and whatnot, you know, Martell was throwing his passive aggressive shots to Mel, and Martell said something that was stupid. He was like, he feels like whatever's going on in court should stay in court, but he don't see how, or he don't see why not, that they still can't work together, and basically benefit the community, using the community as a shield, as in like, hey, let's put our differences aside, and basically do things for the greater good, but let's keep everything else in the court. Like let's try to separate the two. And I'm just like, Martell, man, you ain't.
That's what I'm saying. He not smart.
I'm trying to have you on my side, man. but you're not making no sense. Like how do you expect someone to not take things personally when things are being attacked personally? Her character is being attacked personally. The way she take care of her kids is being attacked personally, in public. So it just doesn't make sense. And I don't know what Martell's point was right there of why him and Mel can't work together. He knows why him and Mel can't work together. Right.
So we move on to Maurice actually spending time with his child that we get to see, of them going to the basketball court and playing and bonding. And it eventually turns into a lecture because Maurice can't help himself.
It turns into what?
A lecture.
Okay.
But I felt like it was a conversation worth having. Maurice was explaining how he had 2 jobs when he was Monster's age, and Marceau had 3 jobs. So he was comparing his upbringing and the type of drive that he expected Monster to have, the way that he was. And he's seeing that he can't parent Monster the way that he sees fit or based off of his life experience, because Monster has a totally different life and upbringing. And Maurice just really wants his son to tap into his potential. And he's saying, you know, like, Monster, like, I really want to know who you are. Like, who are you, you know, as an individual? And Monster's like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out. So Maurice gives him permission to speak freely. And, you know, if Maurice is communicating in a way that Monster is just not going to receive, to be able to say it back to him. I don't know if that's really going to work. I feel like Maurice kind of has like a dictator that type of parental spirit versus like, let me listen to you and hear where you're coming from. But yeah, I feel like Maurice, this conversation was needed, but even in this, it's like, you don't look at your child as a child, of them trying to figure themselves out, figure out, you know, how they want to be, how they see themselves in the world. And you expect him to know that and be able to communicate that to you clearly. He can't. He's not an adult. Like, he just can't. So the main thing is get the boy to graduate school, have him do his chores, and keep him out of trouble. But all this, you need to tell me and let me know who you are and all this stuff, just guide him and support him as a father until he figures out the man that he is. You know, what did you think about that?
I thought it was a good scene, actually. I think it was a good scene. I can relate to Monster. I can relate to Maurice. At what age do a child supposed to tell you who like they are? If Monster can't tell you at 15, or at least where he is right now, at what age do you expect your kid to come talk to you and tell you who they are?
I don't expect the kid to do it at all. I feel like as a parent, you watch and you pay attention to your child, and you see how they are.
Yeah, but
I don't expect the kid to come to you and lay it out for you so you can understand.
But he locks himself in the room all day. Like, so if you're not telling me who you are, I only go to judge you by what I see. And I see your grades is not good. I see you don't do chores. I see you don't really have no initiative about life. You're just riding the wave. Yeah. So what do Maurice supposed to think? You know, and I see what he mean, how he's going about it. I think he has the right to feel what's the word? Concerned. But it can be a little heavy-handed. Because I think he's still fairly young. I think he's still in the early years of high school. It's one thing if he was like a junior or like maybe he is a junior or a senior, but I'm like, he's still like 15, like he's still fairly fresh. But I think it was a good scene. And truth be told, like I said, a parent or whoever, I truly don't believe in people trying to tell you how to tell them how to treat them in some factors, and I mean it in this way. Maurice said that, hey, Monster, you have the freedom to be like, hey, man, I'm not understanding this, or basically, I'm not getting how you're talking to me. It's not getting to me. You have the right to correct me. I do not believe that every parent just starts off yelling at their child, unless that parent is an abusive parent. Maurice don't come off as an abusive parent. Don't know. I don't live in that household. There's times that a child, because I can say it happened for me, that you just don't listen. The parents may say it once. Do this, do that. And you don't do it. And then they start yelling because you don't understand English or you not listening to what they say. So already you have Maurice. Let's say Maurice is the one that's yelling. Let's put him in that box. Okay. Right? Do you think Kimmy be in there yelling? He ain't listening to Kimmy. True. So what do like a parent supposed to do? Kimmy is scared to discipline somebody else's kid. So when somebody is trying to talk to you on your level, you're still not listening. So you can't hide behind that of like, yeah, sometimes when you yell at me, I shut down. Well, you have somebody who is talking to you on your level, and she's calling me, telling me you're not raking the leaves, or that you're not doing the chores. Now I'm angry. Yeah. Dude, like so I do see it from the parent perspective of like, hey, I think what Maurice did at that moment was a hard reset. You know what? We go reset. I'm going to treat you the way you want to be treated. If you want to be talked to and you don't want to be yelled at, I'm going to do it your way to see if you have the self-initiative, or basically you have some type of startup in you to basically do what you have to do to get good grades and things like that, to do your chores, to just to be more active, not just only when we playing basketball. When he was playing basketball, I thought they had a stunt double.
Yeah, he had so much energy.
It looked like a total different kid. You know what I mean?
He was smiling.
I'm about to say, total different kid. I I ain't know nothing.
I wonder if they got him in sports. They need to put the boy in sports. That probably boosts his confidence or whatever.
So
some discipline.
But guess what? He probably can't play sports because his grade's not good.
Oh, yeah.
So like
it could be anything.
So and granted, we're just guessing. I ain't trying to talk about nobody's kids.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I think what Maurice did was a hard reset. Now the thing about a hard reset is it's a setup if you don't take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Meaning the parent is actually humbling themselves and say, we go do it your way. And we go continue to do it your way until you prove or show that, oh, you don't even like doing it your way. Mm-hmm. And then it's just going to be harder when Maurice flips back and be like, hey, I tried doing it your way. I ain't tell you to wake up in the morning for boot camp. I ain't tell you to do no chores. I didn't even get on you about your grades. And now this quarter, you got all D's. Your room is a mess. You stink. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And now it's going to be harder because now Maurice feel like he got to make up and catch you up. So that's why I'm like, I think it's good. A good hard reset is definitely needed when it comes to parenting. But it's up to the kid to take advantage of it and be like, you know what? Okay, the slate is clean. If I don't like being yelled at, this is my time to prove why I should never be yelled at no more. But the minute you prove that you should be yelled at, it's a wrap. Yeah. A parent's not going to fall for that banana in the tailpipe twice. Never.
Yeah. And then we get to the part with Courtney and his mom. This made my heart flutter a little bit.
Why?
It was just a really nice moment between him and his mom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Courtney's mom was a single mother when raising him, and I think he has a brother. And his father wasn't in his life, and apparently, I guess his father passed away.
No, I ain't get that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Courtney, felt abandoned by his dad, and his mom was just basically pouring into him and letting him know, like, you're an amazing father, like you're nothing like him, you're here for your family. And Courtney has fears about having another child with Stormy, and the mom brings up, is it because your dad left? Like, do you just not want either of y'all to be single parents? And that's part of it. And a few episodes back, they also talked about how Stormy had a hard birth and lost a lot of blood, and he doesn't want to also have the potential of losing her. So his mom, which I feel like is just, that was amazing of a mother-in-law to be able to speak from the woman's perspective, from Stormy's perspective, of saying, like, yes, you feel this way, but you also have to give Stormy space to talk and to listen to her, and to really allow her to be heard with what she wants as far as the growing y'all's family. And so Courtney, he ends up like breaking down and crying, based off of the conversations about his dad and his dad not being there and not being the father that he would have wanted him to be. And also, I guess what really hit home for me, or not hit home, but like made me feel for him, was that, his father's no longer here. So it's not like he even has an opportunity to course correct. Like, it is what it is, and it's the end of that story. So he has to forge his own path with his own kids.
Yeah, I ain't know his father passed. I ain't hear that. Maybe I walked away. But yeah, man, I guess everybody just have their trauma they gotta go through. I can see his point of view of, like, it was a hard pregnancy, so like he don't want Stormy to take that risk. We just had somebody, a famous track star, a famous track Olympian, passed away because of a birth, and she wasn't treated correctly as a black woman, or like this attended to as a black woman. So I can understand his fears. At the end of the day, it's a decision both of y'all have to make. Yeah. And it's a conversation that I think he will have with his wife, and how she will, accept it or not accept it. I think that's for us to see probably next episode or probably in the future. But it is a real fear. I probably would feel the same way, probably. Because at the end of the day, you can easily say, it's my body and I want to have another kid. But if you did, you leave me with multiple kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, we may be at a standstill. Man, get a puppy. I'll never get a puppy, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be a standstill.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Then we get to the day of the Blaque Expo that we've all been waiting for and building up for.
I wasn't waiting.
So Stormy is there setting up. She has a whole corner of the Blaque Expo, and her setup was really nice. It was really nice.
A little much, but I feel you.
Yeah, and apparently Tisha was saying like 2 or 3 people could have went in that space. But I think Tisha, which we're seeing throughout this scene, they're just not the best communicators with business, and like they could have told her how much space she was allotted. And I think they just wanted somebody, so they said, Stormy, will you do it? And she just came and she did the doggone thing. So then Marceau was talking to Tisha.
King Marceau.
And he asked Tisha, did you get that $100, the vendor fee? And she says, no, we didn't ask them to have any type of vendor fee to come do it. We just asked them to do it, and they said they would. And so he says, okay, well, you going to go over there and talk to her? He just said, no. No, I'm not about to go over here and talk to this lady about no $100 on the day of the event, and we've never even asked her for that.
Why, Tisha? And
then so Marceau goes over, tries to play it cool. Oh, I like, you got the setup. This is nice. Y'all need help with anything? Everything going good? And she's like, well, pretty much done. Pretty much finished setting up here. And he asked her, okay, well, where's the $100 for the fee? You sent your money in already? And
he better than me. I would have had a hat out.
And she asked, what money? And he said, it's a vendor fee, $100. She's like, don't come over here to me the same day of the event asking me for $100, and you never mentioned this before. And she calls him low vibrational, and then they go in for a little tit for tat. But I'm 100% with Stormy.
100%
100% with Stormy.
That's crazy.
Because the way it was presented was as though Stormy was doing y'all a favor by coming and supporting you guys in this event.
I agree.
For the community.
I agree.
That's how it was presented. It wasn't presented as, oh, this is a business situation and we need X amount of vendors and we would need your financial help and support and get into whatever. They just said, come, do it for the community. We have a spot open and we really want to do this for the people.
Stormy also repeated that too. So don't so don't make it seem like they just told her like this for the community. She said like, I'm just here for the community. So we both was in agreement on that.
Yeah, they were on the same page as far as what they were coming together to do.
Yeah.
So when you ask her the day of the event, after she has everything all set up and ready to go for the people to come, and you ask her where the money is, and you never said anything about it, that's crazy to me. That's wild.
Maybe Marceau was thinking Tisha told her. Like, what?
But he talked to her before he even went over there.
No, I told her before then. Like, we're equal partners. Did you tell her about the vendor fee? And Tisha's like, no. See, here's my thing. This is the only thing I criticize about Marceau and Tisha. Have everything in writing. I'm never even gonna have to speak to people that I hire because I just put a paper down, and everything is in that paper. Everything is in a contract. It saves things for it save you from things like this. Cause Stormy wasn't upset about the fact that it cost $100. She was just like, you come to me the day of about $100, immediately $100 and things like that. Like, but where Stormy loses me at is that you was hired for this, for a and maybe not use the word hired because hired gives it gives off the feeling of, well, am I getting paid for this? And they probably not getting paid for this. But it's Marceau's event, it's Tisha's event. Just because chaos may have approached you, you don't have to participate in it. You don't have to call that man low vibrations. You don't have to call that man wife over and be like, let me tell you what your husband did. It's like, okay, we're in a professional setting right now, and you can pull me aside and we can have a professional conversation, or you can pull me and Tisha aside and have a professional conversation. But I don't think Stormy should have replied to chaos as she felt it was. asking for that $100 in the way that she did. Now, like I said, I also believe, because I support black businesses, as you can see in my dashiki, that we should give black businesses grace. Not all of them all the time, but definitely grace. This is the first time that Marceau and Tisha is throwing an event like this. They probably don't know what they're doing. They probably don't know. In their head, they're like, as long as we have speakers and vendors that people can go and speak and see and speak to, they're not thinking about things that may slip in the crack, like, oh, did we collect the money or did we? They're not even thinking that, in my opinion. So, I actually remember somebody said something, and they said that in a restaurant, this is an analogy. In a restaurant, plates get dropped all the time. All the time. But if a black person drops a plate, it shouldn't be like a greater penalty when plates get dropped all the time. Granted, I understand, hey, you want things to be presented at a professional thing. That's why I say Martell, like you say Martell, Marceau and Tisha should have had everything in writing. Forget the slideshows and the PowerPoint presentations that just stays on your computer.
Get y'all contracts.
Get contracts together so everybody can have in writing, okay, you have this space. Just don't point me in the corner and then be like, you're using too much space. Like, you ain't tell me, you ain't give me no borders or anything like that. So I here's also my other criticism. I don't know how much money Tisha and Marceau is making from this event. But they making something.
And they are coming out of pocket for it initially.
Listen here. Sometimes you take a hit to get a bigger gain. So I think they just trying to, because even though they may lose money up front, they may gain influence because it's Blaque Expo with a Q. They may gain other things that will potentially get them money on the back end. So that's why I'm like, just have everything in writing next time. There won't be no questions. There won't be no discussions of low vibrations. There won't even be no debates. You won't even see me to even talk to me because everything's in writing. You don't need to approach me for anything. Yeah. That's my only criticism of Stormy. I'm just like, hey, you can diffuse it by saying or asking questions of, so do I break my stuff down?
Exactly.
Like basically, like, do I have to give you the $100 now, or do I give it to you after? Because at the moment, I'm kind of busy putting up my stuff. So if I can't present to you, or if I can't present to you the $100, do that mean I have to break my stuff down? Because I can break it down.
And she was even talking about they have a big order that's going out, and that's why Courtney wasn't there. Yeah. And she was talking to, I think she was talking to his mother-in-law, was just saying, like, you know, I'm here, you know, I'm willing to support and do whatever for the community, but like, dang, I really wish I was back there helping the business because we've got a lot going on right now.
I mean, but you knew that already.
I mean, yeah, but my thing is, to me, I felt like Stormy handled it the best way she could. I didn't feel like she popped off on nobody crazy.
No, I'm just saying, don't make a scene. That's all I'm saying. Just don't make a scene. Anything else?
That's all. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Sharing is caring. Y'all be good.